Well, look, it's been an eventful 8 weeks. There's no doubt the same. There's been highs and lows, if you like. What I'm enjoying is spending time with our people and spending time with clients, which is really where I've been focused on. And what I've heard from clients in particular, and actually really reassured me, is a desire to keep working with the teams of people they work with at WPP. And actually, I've observed myself, the really close relationship our people have with clients. This is not a transactional business, as you know. It's a business where the best work comes out of a partnership between us and our clients. So I've seen that. As for my pitch, I think that's the decision's ultimately for the board to make. There's a lot of things that keep me up at night. I mean, the great thing about our business is you're always likely to wake up in the morning to a piece of good news as a piece of bad news, and so for every piece of bad news you get, there's a piece of good news that follows. So that's what we're seeing. I'm sure he's getting on fine. But I'm very optimistic about the future. I mean, I said before, I think our industry is in a time of structural change, not structural decline. The same could be said for Cannes in a way. I mean, here we are. The festival is shorter, more focused. Fewer entries, hopefully better entries. I think there's no sign that there are any fewer clients coming. So I think it's going to be a pretty valuable week, and we'll see how we do. Well, I think we've said, I don't think WPP needs to be smaller. I do think we need to be, simpler to navigate. I think we need to be easier for clients to find their way around the group. We need to make it easier for clients to have access to all the talent we have. I don't think we're going to go through an exercise of major restructuring of the businesses, though we're going to look at the business, forensically as we decide on the strategy for the future. So I think we said, at the AGM, you were there, we said we're going to become a more client-centric organisation, something that clients find simpler to navigate, and make sure that we're really focused on what clients need from us. And sometimes I think in the past we've been a little bit focused on kind of our own internal organisation, kind of not what really makes sense for our clients. Well, I think there's been a lot of discussion in the industry, not just the advertising industry, but frankly society as a whole, about how changes need to take place in society and changes need to take place in companies, in politics, in many areas of society. And I think WPP to some extent, is no different from that. So, I said in the note I sent to our 130,000 people around the world that when I go to work, I expect it to be treated with respect. And no one who works at WPP should expect anything different. So, we need to focus on that. Andrew and I have said to the board that we're going to, review our policies, but maybe less our policies, more about how our policies are implemented, because I think we have pretty robust policies at WPP. We had a right to speak line for 15 years. It's independently operated by someone outside of WPP. It's totally anonymous, completely confidential. People who work for WPP who have any concerns can always and should always report things there. So I think we need to look at how that's organised and how that's understood within the organisation. But as I said, I think a lot of what's happening does reflect sort of the broader societal changes, and we need to adapt our model to do that, and I'm committed to do that at WPP. Well, look, I don't know. I think if you went to a big consulting company, they have lots of people who are called partner and lots of people with big titles. So I think to some extent in any people business, you need to have a organisation that reflects the need to acquire talent. I think there's no doubt our industry has fragmented as new specialisms have grown up. We've got mobile marketing agencies, social media agencies, and we've had a kind of fragmentation. Keith Weed harks back to J. Walter Thompson in Berkeley Square in 1960. So I think somewhere between there and where we are today is where we need to head. I mean, it's true. There's a lot of convergence in the industry. So I think whether you start as a creative agency or a so-called digital agency, we're all sort of heading in some respects in the same direction. I don't think we'll all end up in the same place, but I think the trends that are driving where we're going and end up where they are. So I think my focus would rather be on how we get people to work together, how we have more common incentives, how we create a more collaborative culture, how we make it easier to work together across companies than necessarily collapsing things. So in my experience, collapsing things in our business means collapsing them. So I'm not sure we want to go that far, but I do think that what the message I hear from clients consistently is, simpler to access, easier to navigate, the best talent on the best problem. So that's kind of what we need to do.